Welcome to the Bodega Cat Podcast with Christina Ng. Over the next hour, you'll hear from guest experts from a variety of different backgrounds, with specialties pertaining to pets and humans alike. Now, here is Christina.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Podcast, and my name is Christina. I'm your host. Today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Doinita Ward. And what I'll do is I'll read a little bit of her bio, and then I'll have her elaborate and talk a little bit about her journey, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Doinita Ward is an international guide bridging souls worldwide to the transformative power of infinite consciousness and the realization of their life's potential. As an Akashic Records Healer, intuitive life counselor, alchemist, soul astrologer, and Astro Cartographer, she offers profound insights and healing modalities to individuals and couples seeking personal and relational harmony. With a multidimensional approach to healing, Doinita brings forth remarkable clarity and love, illuminating the mystical realms beyond the physical world. Her principles are accessible and straightforward, providing practical tools to cultivate health, wealth, and peace amidst life's complexities. Doinita's healing journey traces back to her roots in Moldova, where she cultivated a deep affinity for holistic healing practices under her family's guidance. This foundation blossomed into a diverse range of modalities, including Akashic Records, astrology, Astro Cartography, essential oils, plant wisdom, crystals, sound therapy, and ancient energy techniques. Her transformative path led her across continents, arriving in America with only $100 and a boundless sense of freedom in 2002. A career on the ocean provided space for exploration into esoteric topics and physical healing work. A pivotal moment came in 2013 with an encounter with ayahuasca in Peru, leading to profound teachings on the inner heart, journey, and the Akashic Records. Today, Doinita serves as a beacon for individuals seeking realignment of body, mind, heart, and soul. Her clients span diverse backgrounds, from astrologers and healers to business leaders, teenagers, and families worldwide. Whether navigating partnerships, seeking clarity at crossroads, or healing trauma, Doinita offers a sacred space for profound transformation and harmony. Well, first of all, thank you, Doinita, for being here. And from one mystic in practice, in training, which is me, to another mystic, I really like to thank you for your time and your energy. And we kind of, I don't know if I want to say we met, but we kind of knew each other for quite a while in class, although we haven't talked to each other until recently when you were, I guess you could say, inducted into Astara, and I was so excited that I started Googling you and researching you, and we got connected that way. So it's very, very, very cool. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you very much for having me and for finding me on the internet.
It's always, it's kind of interesting how the universe works. You just kind of connect the dots, right? It's our job to connect the dots. And there's a reason why we didn't connect in the past. And there's a reason why we connected at this point in our lives. So anyways, I'm pretty excited. I wanted to, your resume is very interesting with all the different things that you've done in the past. And we'll talk about it, because I wanted to introduce my audience to some of the things that you do and services that you provide. But let's start with your journey in terms of your healing journey. And I find it incredible that you came to America with $100. And that is just amazing. Some of the, having challenges, having to go through in terms of coming overseas to a different culture, to a different, I don't know if you spoke English at the time, but different language, a different, country, If you want to elaborate a little bit about that, you can go ahead and do it. I am more interested in your healing journey. What got you from point A to point B, and maybe now point C or D, E, F, G. So,
of course, yes, of course. You see, the healing journey began, I think, even before I was born, in my mother's womb, right? The conception and such. And then living in Moldova. I don't know if anybody knows Moldova. Moldova is a very small country. Used to be part of Soviet Union. So life and me, I lived, I think, the childhood. So I experienced a bit of everything, Then I think I was 8 or 9 when Soviet Union collapsed. So I experienced all the changes and the tumultuous changes and the cultural trauma, The biggest goal for me was, since I was a child, was very sensitive, an empath, and I always kept telling my family that this is not my country and I'm going to leave this place. And, everybody kind of laughed at the time because we were in Soviet Union when I was a child. So the walls were locked, you couldn't simply get on a plane and leave. So, you mentioned the $100 in the pocket. So yes, when the opportunity came and I joined Carnival Cruise Lines out of all to begin with. So that was like my ticket out of the country to freedom. So, when you live in a place, when you live all your life, I would say in a lack, right? Like limitations, powerful limitations, and there's just constriction that to me at the age of 22, that was freedom. It's like, when you're young, I was so excited. I was so happy to have the opportunity, finally, to leave, to be free, to expand. I didn't actually at the time, I had no idea about the journey. I had no idea about the where I'm going to go, how I'm going to do it, the healing part. There was this inner guidance, there was this inner nudge, and that was the window. I just came here. So the $100, that was like, I didn't think about it because at the time it was inner trust in the universe that I'll be provided. And I was challenging, and every step, and I would say even that was healing. That part of the cruise ships, I did speak English. I just didn't speak the boat, the yachting, the industry. And I have never been on a boat before either. So that was basically, it was one step after another. I've contemplated a lot about my journey along the years, and all of it was part of the coming home to my heart, remembering, healing. And, after Carnival Cruise Lines, that was rough. Being a shy girl, coming from a country that was, I would say, I didn't have a lot of opportunities growing up. I didn't know of a lot of things. So there was a very empty in many ways. So for me, I spend a lot of time exploring the stars, a lot of time of my childhood, in my imaginary world, exploring my intuition, I spent time with plants. My grandfather taught me the plants. So at the time, I didn't know that was very sacred and that was very special,
Mm-hmm. Were your family supportive in your?
Yes. My family is small, so just my mother And she still lives there. And she was very supportive because she knew that it was this inner calling of leaving the country, traveling, exploring. So as soon as I got to US, that was shock, So it took time to adjust because it was not easy because I was all by myself in the new world, so that all those aspects were real, The reality hit. It was pretty rough, I would say. But I managed to grow up, toughen up, grow up, stand up for myself and just move forward. Because there was this always the inner guidance, There was this something that was inside. There was this knowingness, and I was guided to my next step and then to the next step. And the people that were meant for me to meet at the, crossroads, I would meet them. And then it was just fluent. It was effortless for, when I moved from cruise ships into yachting industry. And then, in the yachting industry, I met wonderful people and my husband and, just teachers. And, I had the space and I had the freedom while on boats, while working on yachts, to explore the spirituality a bit, to start exploring, going to Peru, doing ayahuasca, that transformed my life. So it was just, I can't say it was like a linear, I did this and then I did that. It was all an experience, like my soul chose to experience all of it. So I can, so I am who I am now. And I am a traveler, I guess, and I was, the last few years after I retired from yachting, I retired a while back, but I kept saying, it's like for 20 years, almost 20 years, I traveled by sea and planes. And now I travel with spirit within the Akashic Records, within the mystical realms and just the magic of the world. So right now I'm surrounded by dogs and cats and plants and trees and
Soul traveler.
Yes, right now, yes, I would say that. Soul traveler. I think I was soul traveling back then too, but the awareness, I didn't have the awareness I have now. And that comes with growth, that comes with openness, that comes with willingness to grow and evolve,
Yeah. All in good time. Universe has an amazing divine timing and even divine delay. Sometimes you want something to happen, or at least I do. I want something to happen. I want it now, kind of thing. But
Exactly.
Universe is like, oh no, just wait.
Well, exactly. Like right now, for example, I'm in the midst of big change, life changes again. And I realized, and I know that this is my life, constant initiations, constant changes, I would say radical changes, life changes, and moving and shifting and changing, so I've been I'm the same. I think that's human nature. I want it and I want it now. So it takes a lot of
patience,
surrendering, a lot of work, really, right? A lot of surrendering, letting go and loving and trusting and allowing.
Yes.
For that divine timing to unfold naturally,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I feel like right now,
Yeah.
So we've been trying to sell the place. We've been, the house, to move to a different state for 2 years now. So it's like, okay, the divine timing is taking its time. I keep joking that.
And sometimes too, I think in this waiting period, at least, from my own journey, the waiting period, what seems like a waiting period for me is actually groundwork that needs to be done, to prepare us for that next step, for that next journey.
Exactly.
So that's
exactly. That's what I've been feeling, it's like once we say yes, okay, I'm going to move, it's like cell move. I'm giving you this example, right? Cell move. Then, because I asked, our words are very powerful. And the universe hears it. Everything is heard, everything is granted right then, right there. Yet it takes a little longer for things to manifest on planet Earth because we're still in the 3D, right? Because I asked for everything to unfold with ease and grace. Because our last time when we moved from Northern California to Florida was very chaotic, was very stressful, because I pushed rather than allowed, right? So this time I said I wanted all to unfold with ease and grace. So I have been noticing, because the last 2 years, the growth, my inner growth, the healing, the healing of my healing, my opening, softening and opening has been huge. And the same with my family. And all the, it's almost like once you relax, then you allow all the knots to gently untie themselves naturally.
I've noticed that too, with the universe. Once we allow the universe to do its thing, things just flow very easily. Things fall into place, at least from my experience, from what I've observed in my life, as opposed to pushing it forward or forcing the outcome. But if we just allow and relax, things just fall into place, just like little dominoes.
Yeah, and sometimes it's actually even better than we initially thought, because the mind is limiting.
Yes.
So when we think we want something, that comes generally from the mind. And yet the universe wants to give us much better, much bigger, much, greater.
Yes, because the universe sees things from a 40-foot view.
Yes.
We see things from a 100-foot.
Yes.
100-foot view. Yeah. So that was my lesson, to really be patient and because I have a lot of ideas, and they're big ideas, I don't know if it's going to manifest in this life or not. Maybe it's a groundwork to manifest in next life, but, I've learned to, to kind of put my head down, do my spiritual work, do my ground, whatever it is, do my research, do whatever it is that I need to do. And then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, something else will happen,
Better.
And better. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, better for you at the time, That's what I keep asking.
Right.
Okay, we're nudged, we're redirected. So, yeah, it's interesting because I was, growing up, that's one of the biggest things for me, patience, to learn to cultivate patience and trust. Growing up in Moldova, the flight, flight, was really strong. And then coming into US and by myself and cruise ships was not easy. It was very hard. So almost like I became really good at flighting, whatever. I think I'm saying it right? Fight, flight, or flight, fight. Same thing.
Yeah.
It took me, only in the last 8 years, when I retired from yachting industry, I was lost, because yachting industry, it's like army, like anything like that, it's a structural. I didn't know how to live in a house. I was lost because I have never had space. Because as a child, I lived in a studio apartment with my mother. Then, boating, yachting, that's a cabin. So you live in a very small, tight quarters. And suddenly I was living in a house and we had land, we were in the mountains. And that was very uncomfortable, Suddenly I had the physical expansion, like the space. So that, then all the shadows, it's like I had the healing, the deeper healing started happening. The crumbling of the sandcastle started to happen, So I had my support, and I had, that's when I dove deeper into the Akashic Records. I dove deeper into all these different modalities for my own healing, for me. My biggest quest was, who am I? Why am I here? And just to remember what I am here to be. Not just do, but be,
Yeah.
Or who I'm here to be, or whatever, kind of the same thing.
Right.
It's just to be open. My biggest quest is like, I want to be open, fully open, and allow.
Yeah. That's one of the great things that I love about Astara, is that it really teaches us to bring in the light, because we are made of light, essentially.
Yes.
And our job, is to bring that light in whatever way, shape, or form that we're supposed to. And in our society, we've been so conditioned to do, right? You got to get results and do this and do that. But really, it doesn't.
There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to. Right. I mean, if you look at a cat, for example, a cat doesn't have to do something to get your attention or for you to go crazy over it, right? It just have to walk in the room, and then its light just shines, right? Everybody just goes gaga over it as soon as the cat walks in the room. And so I think that's probably our lesson as a species, as a humanity, is to really, be true and to know who we are and to let that light shine. So,
you said something very, beautiful and so spot on. And that is, we're all beautiful souls, bright, beautiful soul, majestic, right? We're all powerful beyond our wildest imagination. Yet we are, there was like all the conditioning, all the masks, all the identities, all the debris, everything, all the shills that we've accumulated along many, many lifetimes. That is dimming, that is dimming our light. So it's like, that's that, to aim to be open, to be fully open and relaxed, comfortable in the body, relaxed and then it's natural. There is no need for protection, because that your light is not just it's your light, our light. There is no need for protection. There is no need to put walls around you, because you shine, so you attract. It's a high vibration. It's beautiful. So you just, it's like your body purrs, your heart purrs, sings. You flow with the universe. The heart beats with the heart of the universe, and then you attract. Things happen beautifully because you are allowing, because you are trusting, because you welcome the light, you welcome divine love, divine light. There is no reason, we protect ourselves from the same, from the shadows, from the fears, from the lower frequencies, from the belief system that we have accumulated alongside, along in these lifetimes, ancestors, many lifetimes. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it properly, because there's just such depth to it that the words can't really give it justice,
Right. Words are limited, I feel.
Very limited, because when I tune into it, and that's my, to be really soft and open and allow light in, allow soul guidance, allow my soul to guide, right? That is the magic. That is, your life will transform. And it's not like there is a point A to B. I mean, every day we wake up, we're already shifting and choosing
Yeah.
a better life. So we're already choosing.
And it's not linear. Life isn't
No.
linear. You might go from A to B, but then you go back and go A1 to B1 to C and then back to B4.
Yeah.
It's more like a spiral,
It's a cyclical, yes. It's a spiral. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And if you watch nature is beautiful. If you want to learn about life and how the universe works, you just go out to nature and just observe, how the birds and the bees and the trees and the wind and how they kind of all go together in a very symphonic, musical kind of way. It's actually very beautiful, if you really turn into it. So
yes, I live here in Florida right now, but I'm surrounded by trees. We have land here too. And this is one of my favorite things to do is watch the birds, watch the animals. We have cats, we have raccoons, we have all kind of things, opossums, bobcats. So I love, you probably can hear a cat here, mama cat. I'm fostering some kittens as well. I love watching them because they're not in a hurry to get anywhere. They are enjoying the moment,
that's right.
now, the life, so that everything unfolds in this moment, in each moment to moment.
That's right. They're very present.
Yes.
They're very present. Yeah. That's a lesson that we have to learn as human beings, to be present. Because we live in the past, we live in the future. I listen to different podcasts and people are also always speculating, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen. And I'm thinking, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. When it's going to happen,
You don't know till you know.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the magic, It's like, you said to learn. I think that's not even learning, because learning is with your mind, but living in present, it's more state of being, it's kind of like heightening, deepening the awareness, pausing during the day as many times as you need to focus on the breath, to focus, just to stop from the busyness. Because we all have to do things, we still have to function in this world. But, remembering, being mindful, bringing the awareness back to the breath, back to our hearts, feel the hearts and just look around, go outside, connect to the wind, connect to the birds, connect to the sunshine. I mean, to anything, your cat, your dog, your fish, doesn't matter, your children. Listen to the children's laughter. They live in the moment.
Yeah. Like they say, stop and smell the roses, right?
Very much, yes. Very true. It's like I learn from my pet, from my animals. They're like my family members. I learn from them. They're they're the best teachers.
Yeah, they are.
At just, they just here, they are now. They don't worry about tomorrow. They're not worried about yesterday. They're not thinking about where they're going to get their next meal. Well, they know I'm giving it to them, but still, they're not worrying about that,
Right.
Even in nature, even the outside, because I have some like outside, strays and such. They're relaxed.
And they don't hold grudges.
No.
They're not.
Because they're relaxed. You see, when you live in the now, when you allow your body to fully relax, our bodies are very wise and very smart. When we allow our body to fully relax, the body lets go of anything that is not of light, anything that is not in its highest good. And when we live in the now and we relax, then things manifest, things happen, magic happens.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is just allowing that, and practicing. I call it practicing. I practice. It's
Right.
about practicing and then being gentle and kind. Before I used to beat myself up because I used to be the biggest critic, the hardest. You're kind to others, but you're hard to yourself, right? And I think that's not just me, but many. And right now I practice that even when I forget and I get caught in the drama of my mind or the world, the outside, I take a deep breath, I slow down, I take a deep breath and I bring my awareness back to my heart. And I just rest there. And I notice how my body starts relaxing, how my body starts softening up again, how my breath, it's like you can feel like a blossoming flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just you come back to your natural state of being, which is peaceful, which is blissful,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'd love to talk to you. I could talk to you all day long about how the universe works.
Me too.
Because it's such a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. But I do want to introduce my clients to your other services, which are absolutely intriguing to me because you don't hear a lot about what you do in the, I guess you could call it New Age circle, quote in quotes. But let's talk a little bit about. There's a couple of things that you do, and maybe we could spend a few minutes on it. But you are also an intuitive life counselor. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I could actually put it in a nutshell of kind of what I do, I think.
Okay.
I hope anyway.
Okay.
The Akashic Records, the astrology, which is a soul astrology, all of those modalities, I also bring in gene keys and human design. I'm a student of all of them, right? They're all different languages that relay, that tell a story of your soul's journey, of your soul's divine journey. So I love working with people, and I work with their soul's wisdom. That's kind of the name of my business as well. Well, if you call it business, is mastering the essence of your soul. Master the essence of your soul. So working with people I help people, I guide people to peel off those layers of conditioning, of fears, of limitations, belief systems that are preventing them to be themselves, to really embrace their divine essence. So together we explore. That's why it is so vast. So all of the tools that I'm implementing, the astrology, that's all within the sacred space of the Akashic Records, which is the highest frequency, the frequency of love. I work with, so we're bringing the love through everything. We're healing, I hold space, sacred space for the people to remember who they are, to embrace their divinity, to come back to their hearts, to come back to their bodies, to soften and to relax into to themselves. To explore and to come home to who they are, who their real, true essence, who the true essence is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So for the benefit of my audience, can you just say in a nutshell what Soul Astrologer does? What is Astro Cartographer? What does the Akashic Record does? What does an Alchemist? Just kind of
A little
break
bit
it up
of
a little
that.
bit. Yeah. Yeah, for those who don't know, who are not familiar.
Well, Akashic Records is, imagine, we all have the iCloud, right? The cloud where all the data is stored. So Akashic Records is an energetic, kind of like an energetic storage, I would call it. So it's like the nervous system of the universe, that every experience from the past, every experience now, and all the possible experiences that are in the future, they're all stored in that energetic library. It's like a book of life. And about Akashic Records, you know, it's every culture through time and space, you know, they have a reference of this library of life, the Akashic Records. So it's a beautiful space. I have been trained in that to access it for people. So I open the sacred space, so I tap into their wisdom, their soul's wisdom through the Akashic Records. That's the spiritual counseling. It's like channeling. It's bringing in information from their soul's wisdom. And with astrology, soul astrology, I see patterns. So if in a session with a person, with a client, the guidance comes to tap into, or they want to know more about their astrology, then we open up that space, and with the charts, of course, but I see patterns. So it's like an infinite, it's a bottomless pit, you know, there's so much to learn, and so it's like a portal to your souls, to your soul.
When you said patterns, would these be patterns that
gifts?
Okay.
Yes, gifts of what they're here to do. It's almost like a language. It's a story. It's like, okay, so this is where you've been, your gifts, you know, your strengths, what you're here to learn, what you're here to master, what you're here to actually embrace, you know.
Would that include like traumas that we were supposed to learn?
Yes, all of it. Trauma and, you know, karma, trauma, past lives, you know, and then what you're here in this lifetime, you are meant to be embodying, you know, like you practicing and just learning, mastering. And with astrocartography, it's also, I love it because astrocartography is, you know, every place in, let's say, you know, you live wherever you live. So the planets and the earth, you know, there is an energy that you are feeling it, the body feels it. So if you would move to a different location, you would feel different. It's because astrologically, based on your natal chart, astrologically, you activate different planetary energies in that location. So other people would feel different. So everybody is different, right? That's why using astrocartography is great when you want to move to homes, or when you want to learn more about yourself, because it also gives you a bit of deeper understanding about the place of your birth. So there's no accidents, you know, that you're born exactly there with that planetary aspects and energies. For example, I was born in Moldova, and that was Pluto crossing Sun. So that's strong. So that energy, even though I live in Florida right now, but that energy will always be, it's like it's an imprint in my blueprint, right? It's within me, in my body. Mm-hmm. So I always will go through this death and rebirth, through this incarnation. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So did you utilize astrocartography when you moved to America?
No. Okay. I didn't even. So you remember when we talked about the divine timing and divine moment? Because you're not meant to know till you know. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I moved to Florida, and astrocartography, I knew about astrocartography before I moved to Florida, but I did not feel the inner guidance to pursue it. And I know why, because if I did, I wouldn't have come here. I found out, I dove into it after I came here, and we moved here 5.5 years ago. Because the challenge is here, you know, there is what we want as a human, sometimes it's not what the soul wants to have the experience, right? The healing. So Florida was very powerful, deep transformation, soul healing for me. Really breaking cracking a lot of those hard shells that I have built, for protection, so-called. So yeah, now I know of it. So next, I'm still looking where I'm going to move, because I am exploring, with the help of Astro Cartography. Yet I am not just trusting and going to go blindly following that only. There's just, it's a guidance. So
it's a tool.
It's a tool, it's a guidance, but ultimately I'm going to, it's like ultimately always listen to your heart and always listen to your body, because that is the biggest, it will tell you when your body is relaxed, when your heart is at peace, you're good, it's good for you. And if you go to a new place and it feels funny, I would say, then explore that. Even if the stars tell you it's a great place to move to, maybe it's not what it's, maybe it is not for your highest and greatest at this time.
There's a reason for it.
Yes. So there is a reason for me to come here to Florida, right. Even though it was like on a Mars crossing IC, which was very intense, but it was necessary.
Yeah. My experience has been, there's usually a lesson that we need to learn somewhere in there.
It's either a lesson or even sometimes meeting that person, the next connection, the next dot, It is, for example, here is an example. My first husband, so I have two husbands, right? My first husband, and I saw, and I know that, I was told, I was shown like that, and also in ayahuasca that one of the reasons why it's like soul contract with my first husband was through him to meet my second husband. And that is, meeting my second husband, it's when the journey of opening and coming home to myself really began. He's the biggest teacher, not always the nicest, but does it make sense? It's like, it was just...
But you don't see it at that time, right?
No.
You kind of see it in hindsight, right?
That's why contemplating, not just analyzing, but creating space within your everyday life to allow things to come to you.
Yeah.
It's like meditating but contemplating. It's like you can do anything. You can, Richard Rudd in the Gene Keys, he's a wonderful teacher for that, Like the contemplation, the art of contemplation, because it's just so easy if we allow it. And then magic. So yes, I hope I answered your question and about all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting, life is an inner journey, I think.
It is.
Yeah. We focus so much on the outside that we don't see the inside. But, the inside takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of contemplation, but it produces wisdom,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, well, have you noticed that once, people that spend a lot of time alone, once you start waking up, when you start kind of like waking up to realizing that there is more to the world than just what you see with your eye, then you start exploring the inner world. And like you said, it takes time, right? It takes energy, it takes time to go within, but oh my God, the rewards are magical. And then the outside world shifts.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I love my solitude. I love being by myself with my pets and animals in my inner world. And when I was young, that's when I see the journey where I've been and where I am right now. You know, in my 20s, I could not be I could not be in a room there is no sound. I had to have the TV or the noise. The noise was important, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's so important to contemplate and look back. Like not live in the past, but just see the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And to realize, because it's like we always try to, it's like, I used to as well do that, strive. I was like, I'm comparing myself, it's like I haven't done anything, I'm like, focus on the negative, focus on the things that I still need to heal and release and learn, instead of focusing on the good and the positive and the, just the blessings and the magic that is here right now. It's not like it happened, but it's here. So yeah.
Well, if you look at it from an energetic point of view, when you're in, there was something I wanted to say that's expansive. It just kind of slipped my mind. But anyways, the thought slipped my mind. Sorry.
It's okay.
It just came in a very 2 seconds and it's gone. Yeah, it'll come back to me if it's important. But
it will come back to you if it's meant to be there.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that is beautiful. I'm not a person who would say to people, you should do this or should do that. But I think that every person would behoove himself or herself to go to a cloister at least once in a lifetime, or maybe more, or once a year, right? Just to kind of seclude himself or herself, just to kind of have that time to go inward. And also, in our day-to-day life, to practice fasting, intermittent fasting, and also vow of silence. I was reading a book, the autobiography of a yogi, and in it, Yogananda was visiting Indian Gandhi. He was visiting Gandhi, and during his visit, Gandhi was in he does this a day of silence where he doesn't talk for a whole day until a certain time. I don't remember, 8:00 in the evening or something. And then when Yogananda was visiting him, he was during this silent period. So they were still communicating, with gestures and stuff, but they didn't communicate verbally until Gandhi broke his silence. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. There's a lot to be said with practices like that.
Absolutely. But you know what I would add to this? Because that's something that I was the last few years I have been reflecting, contemplating that too. And what came to me is that we are all so very different. We're unique. There is no one like you. There is no one like me. And our journey is unique too. And what we're here, what our souls came here, our soul's journey is unique. And what we're here to experience, the baggage that we carry to, the bag of gems and the bag of, lessons that we came here to learn, they're different. So, because there's so many different modalities out there. And what I tell my friends and myself, actually still myself and my clients, is listen to yourself, feel your inspiration, go and try, it's like, try whatever you feel called to, follow your guidance. It's like the Akashic Records is not for everybody, but it called me. Astrology is not for everybody, but it called me. Like the tinctures, oils, essential oils is not for everybody. Some people like different modalities, So trust your own inner teacher, inner guidance.
I always tell people your intuition is your superpower.
Yes, absolutely. It's because what works for me might not work for you, you know? And what
Yes.
works for you. But the key is not to drown in stagnation.
Right.
You
Right.
know, not to get lost
Right.
in the mud.
And sometimes it's okay to take a break. I tell people it's okay to take a break from God, you know?
Oh, yes.
You don't have to,
Absolutely.
it's like any relationship. You have your intimacy, and then you gotta stand back and say, okay, I have enough of you for now. But then you get back to it, and then you expand and contract, you know, just kind of like what Greg said. So,
Absolutely. It's
yeah.
like it's a flow, you know, it's the
Yep.
ebb and flow.
The flow of life.
It's the
Yeah.
flow of life, you know, the ebb and flow, like the cycles.
Yeah.
It's a cycle, you know, expansion, condensation, you know, all of it. It's about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to drown myself in that terminology. But
it's a very
that.
different way of thinking, isn't it, from the Western philosophy?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the Western will... I laugh because it's like the Western... Gosh, it's like you're born in the Western, you live in the Western, and then you wake up and you spend the rest of your life deconditioning yourself from it.
Yeah.
Finding the balance.
Rene Descartes had the good idea. He secluded himself and really went through all his belief system and challenged each and every one of them, you know, to really see if it's true, if it's not, if it fits him or not, et cetera, et cetera. So,
but you know, not everybody can exclude themselves, especially if you have families and such. Yeah. So it's not everybody can. So that's why, you know, I learned, because, you know, living on a boat and working on a boat in a small, I did not have space, or I did not have the freedom of secluding myself. So I learned to go within, to find that space, to actually look at the ocean, the stars. So I found, you know, throughout the day, I would find time to just be with myself, even though there was just noise and people and whatnot, you know?
Yeah. Well, Doinita, I could talk to you all day long.
Me too.
We got a couple minutes left. I wanted to see that you tell people where they can find you and any last words of wisdom. We'll do the last words of wisdom too, and then where people can find you later. Last.
Oh gosh, I haven't even thought about it beforehand. Last words of wisdom. You know, be yourself and remember to have fun, because life is about joy. Look at the children, you know. Find joy, find delight in everything you do. Love yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle. And yeah, I haven't thought much about that, what to say, but trust yourself. Trust yourself and love yourself. And find joy. Play more. Like you played as a children, you know, connect to that inner child. Play.
That's a beautiful message. And, you know, life is simple.
Yeah.
And just keep it simple. You know, we make it complicated, but it doesn't have to be.
No. Besides, you know, when we play and we laugh and we feel ourselves with joy and positive and love, the body, everything flows better. Life feels better.
Absolutely. And where can people find you for your services? My
website is doinitaward.com, doinitaward.com, or my email, doinitaward@gmail.com. You can find me also by my name on Facebook, and not much on Instagram. And that's it. Simple.
Okay, great. And I'll put the your website and the links in the description on our podcast. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. And we'll have another special guest next week. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day and happy Halloween for October. And thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bodega Cat Podcast. Your host, Christina Ng, will join you here again next month. Until then, have a beautiful month.